The White House is unveiling a 9-point plan to try to keep COVID in check as these virus variants emerge here in the U.S. and the winter virus season gets underway. They're focusing on tightening travel requirements, expanding booster and testing programs, and also crafting a game plan to help keep schools open. First on travel, beginning early next week, international travelers to the U.S. will be required to test negative within 1 day of departure. That's a change from 3 days. A senior administration official said no protocol for testing or quarantine upon arrival in the U.S. will be mandated at this point. The mask mandate for travel and public transport will also be extended until March 18th. The White House is also requiring private insurers to reimburse customers for at-home rapid tests. It says it's using authority under the CARES Act to do so. Treasury will write new guidance for this by January 15th, and the policy will not be retroactive for Americans who are purchasing these tests now. To keep schools open, the administration is also focusing on getting more shots in arms of 5 to 11-year-olds, dispatching FEMA to host clinics beginning in 2 hotspots, and instructing pharmacies to schedule shots as family clusters. It's also unclear the extent to which any of these actions will move the needle as Delta hospitalizations remain high, and now Omicron cases are spotted in the U.S. and are seen as being inevitable over the coming few weeks. A senior administration official said that if any additional measures are recommended and can be implemented well, then they will not hesitate to add them to this mix. Back to you.
You know, Kayla, will any of these programs see legal challenges before they can even get off the ground, like we've seen with some of the vaccine mandates?
Well, there are a few different types of policies that are in this mix, Becky, and I think it's definitely possible that some of them could meet legal challenges. We've seen this administration's approach be to urge, then to give a full-throated endorsement, and then to mandate. And some of these policies include some of that language. Like, for instance, there is a portion of this that will see the president urge private employers to get their employees boosted. That could be seen if that evolves into something that is more set in stone or a harder legal requirement for these companies. That could meet legal challenges. You could also see some legal challenges on the CDC's actions for keeping schools open. The CDC is going to be putting together a game plan that it hopes that school districts can follow uniformly across the country. But we've seen many school districts bristle at some of these guidelines and take their own approach. And so depending on how hard attack the CDC takes there, we could also see that. And then finally, on this idea that the private insurers will be paying for at-home rapid tests, it's unclear whether the government will be offsetting some of those costs. Certainly under the CARES Act, we saw government funding appropriated or set aside to pay for some of these testing programs. The White House says that we will see some unused government funding being reallocated to that. But depending on whether private insurers are on the hook for those costs themselves and exactly how expensive that could be, with so many Americans buying these at-home rapid tests in bulk, we will see the direction that heads in as well.